bring it. We bring it. We bring it every week. And I am so excited today because we have a very special guest today, attorney Neal Pinkston. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. You know, this man is so important to this community. He's done so much in his wonderful career. And I had to bring him on because there's so much going on today, and it's so much that you all need to know. You know, he was our former district attorney for Hamilton County. He was that for 8 years, and before that, he was the executive district attorney for 7 years, and then before that, he was the assistant district attorney for about 4 years. So he's had an extensive career in the field of law. And so it don't get no better than that when it comes to experience. And so if there's anybody you need to listen to today, this needs to be the person, because he can tell you like no other attorney can tell you what's happening on the legal side of things and what your rights are. And if you find yourself in a situation, what do you need to do? He's been there. He's tried, I don't know how many cases, and he's about the baddest man I know when it comes to law. And I'm just thrilled that WPTP is hosting this show today. And I feel so honored that he took the opportunity to take up on our offer and came by to enlighten our community in the field of law. So, Mr. Attorney Neal Pinkston, tell us about what's going on right now, because I know you've had a career change, and
yes,
you're smoking in your
yes.
new career. And just tell us a little bit about what's going on there.
At the end of last year, I opened my own law firm, Pinkston Law. It's at 1216 East Main Street in the Wheelhouse Building,
Yes.
up on the second floor. And we're dealing in criminal defense, state and federal, some civil rights cases, as well as some other civil cases, select civil cases that we deal with.
Wow.
So it's the steam's starting to pick up.
Oh, wonderful. So, you know, if you want a good chance of winning your case, you need to stop by and make a phone call, rather, to Attorney Neal Pinkston, because he knows better than anybody on both sides of the equation what's going to work and what's not going to work. And he still has his friends and connections all up and down the ladder, citywide, countywide, statewide, national-wide. And so I just love it because we've got a gem in our community that can be of help to our citizens who find themselves on the other side of the equation in law, and maybe have some civil issues going on in their life as well, that he can help. And I just want to say I thank you for the many years that you have assisted us with the NAACP in Chattanooga, with cases that we've put before you. We thank you for all of those years and the things that you've done outside of the NAACP to help people.
Yeah,
and
I think we had a very good relationship, and it was
yes.
the pleasure was all mine. I think we made some good progress.
Yes, we did. And we're going to move forward because you've been a speaker. You've always showed up for our events that we've had as guest speaker, helping the community on what they needed to do once they found themselves a prisoner and get out, how to restore their rights and those kinds of things. And you did a darn good job in your office. So we're going to let you talk about that.
Yeah, there are some certain things when you, if you get arrested and you end up in, say, not just Hamilton County, but a sessions court, you know, in the Southeast here in Tennessee, or criminal court, once your case is over, after a certain period of time, a number of your prior cases can be expunged from your record.
How many years generally?
It depends on the offense.
Okay.
It depends on the offense. I'll give you a good example. I was in court this past week with a gentleman, and 3 of his cases were dismissed. And so since they were dismissed, they were eligible for automatic expungement. So we went down, and those 3 cases were expunged. But as we looked further, he had 12 other cases that should have been expunged previously, but had not been. So the problem with that is that they still show on his record,
wow,
even though they shouldn't be.
Right.
And so in the expungement on the dismissal is a free of charge. There's no charge to the person who's been accused of a crime. And so we ended up getting 15 prior cases expunged
Wow.
on one appearance. Now, it takes a period of time before all the law enforcement databases get erased,
Yes.
but it's usually within 30 to 60 days. And so, and you can rightfully say on a job application, or if somebody asks you under oath, have you ever been convicted of this, that, or the other? If that's been expunged, you can under oath honestly say, no, I have not. And that's a true statement.
Okay.
That's a true statement. So that's really important. And sometimes people overlook because it's once your case is over, they want to get out of the courts building or wherever. But it's important to take that extra time to get the expungement because it could, on your record, it could prevent you maybe from getting a job or being a finalist for a job.
Right.
But if it's expunged, it's not there, and
no record.
There's no record of it, and so that's important to keep in mind. Another thing I've found through the years that's important is if an individual has been convicted and they're having to pay, say, court costs or court fines, they can ask that if they have drivers, like a suspended driver's license or revoked driver's license, they can ask the court and the clerk, and they will honor this. They have to, that all those fees and fines paid go to the driver's case first. So you can get that wiped away and hopefully get your license reinstated quicker than normal. And that's important because as well as I know, there's a lot of people that have driver's license issues.
Yes.
And sometimes they're not able to afford public transportation.
Right.
And so perhaps they drive when they shouldn't, which is understandable. But there are ways that the public needs to know about that can handle
so
those.
You can pick the order upon which you want your fees that you're paying to be applied.
Yes.
So all they have to do is
ask the court and the clerk, go down to the clerk's office and tell them that I'm here paying on these cases and I want all my fines and fees first to go towards my driver's case.
Okay.
And that's important to know. And there should probably be a sign somewhere posted that everybody, so, that's one of those things you shouldn't have to dig to find out. It should just already be there, that information.
Right.
And so, but that's a really overlooked thing that can help lots of citizens in our community.
Yeah. So we've had some folks who are convicted felons on our radio show to talk about, their struggles, after going to prison. Then when they get out, how life is treating them relative to fairness, meaning that on the application for even housing, for example, if you've been convicted of a felony, they won't rent to you.
That's right.
So these individuals that are having trouble getting housing, and you talked about jobs and those kinds of things, what do you say to that person to help them out?
Well, there are certain felonies once you've either done your time in prison or you're done your time in probation, and if you've complied with all of the court orders, after a certain period of time, it all depends on the offense.
What if it's a drug offense? I think most of these are evading arrest, some of those kinds of things.
You can ask the criminal court or the civil courts to restore your rights, and you have to show that there's a certain time period that's passed and that you've complied with all the previous court requirements. And then if you've shown that, then under the law, your rights can be restored. And so that's a really important thing, whether it be the right to vote or now in some situations you can't get, your right to bear arms back. It's all dependent on what the charge is. And some charges can never be restored or expunged.
For example,
murder, the sexual offenses involving children, the armed robbery, the really what we think of, what people usually think of, if you've committed, you should go to prison. Those are the generally types of ones that cannot be expunged. But each year, it's not just expunged, but you get your rights restored. But each year, the legislature seems to expand those cases to which you can get expungements on. Okay. And so it's something you just have to check. Every July 1st is usually when the new laws go into effect in Tennessee. Yes. And so you just have to check to see if perhaps now a case that you were convicted of 2 years ago can't be expunged, but the legislature has decided that, I think the legislature understands it's a problem for people with the jobs and housing. And so it's a way to start anew, and erase that from your history. And so somebody can't, if somebody gets pulled over and they look up and go, oh, you had a prior evading arrest. Well, if it should have been expunged, but wasn't, that causes that motorist problems.
Right at that moment.
And so they're trying to explain, well, no, I know that case was dismissed, officer, but it's
still showing up.
It's still to the officer, in his or her defense, it's still showing up. And so if you go to court represented by counsel and you're able to get it expunged, it's absolutely necessary to take that next step. And like I said, if it's dismissed on the motion of the state, there's no cost to it. Now there's the district attorney's office should have applications for expungement, and it's a series of documents that you fill out, about background about yourself, maybe what you were convicted of, date, time, and then the district attorney's office communicates with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. And if the TBI notifies the DA's office back that yes, they're eligible for expungement, then the DA's office contacts that individual and they can present that to the court to have those expunged. And
how long of a process that usually take? You're saying the DA has to notify TBI and ask them if they're eligible. Then the TBI gets back with the DA, say yes, they are. What time period are you talking about? Months, years?
In the difference with the dismissal, now we're transitioning into where somebody's actually been convicted of a crime.
Yes, they've been convicted.
And so the individual convicted has to be proactive and go to the DA's office and request the application for expungement. And the sooner you get that, the sooner you fill out all that paperwork and get it back to the DA's office. I would say it's probably a 30 to 60 day turnaround, depending on the speed at which TBI responds.
Okay.
Because sometimes you're only as good as the information that you're given or is coming back to you. And there can be a fee in those instances, but the statute also allows for the judge to waive a certain portion of those fees. So with the idea too is that if you're trying to get back on your feet, establish a life, job, housing, money's not plentiful. So the law is recognized that a lot of people should be given a break in those regards.
Okay. So typically, just say you have the money. What are the fees you associated with, I would say, expungement?
Well, if the dismissal kind, as we talked about, is free. If you're convicted, it's probably going to be several $100s, but some of those can be waived. But not all of them, but some of them.
And you just ask for financial assistance when you go in there?
Or you just essentially ask the judge with your application that the DA's office is approved, the TBI is approved, that judge, under the law, will you waive as many costs as possible? Yeah.
Can you go on a payment plan?
I don't know that they're accepting payment plans on that due to the fact that the waiver.
Yes.
And so the waiver of certain fees. So I'm not sure that you can do a payment plan. You can on other court costs or court fees. You can set up payment plans on that. But to get the expungement, I think you're going to have to bring the full amount when you get it expunged. But payment plans for all those other options do exist.
Okay.
You just have to tell the judge say, if, for instance, a plea of guilt, if it's for a theft and you got to pay back restitution or whatever, you just be honest up front with the judge that I can't pay all this restitution at once. I can't pay all these court costs at once. Under what I make or what I'm working, I can only pay so much a month.
Right.
And so as long as it's imperative that you say that up front. The judge knows that you're being honest and saying, hey, I need some time and need some help. I'm going to do all I can, but just give me some time.
Right.
And that's those things are very important to remember.
Okay. And I want to ask you about, we talk about restoration of rights. Now, voting rights is an issue that comes up with most people that are convicted, because on the application, when you're filling out your application to get a voter's card, it'll ask on there, have you ever been convicted? And if you check yes all, that in most cases disqualify you from being able to vote. So when you're talking about restoring a person's rights back, is that a stumbling block for folk when they're trying to get their right to vote?
It can be, but under the restoration of rights, if you meet all the criteria of the statute, the rules, how long was your case? Have you paid your court costs? Have you paid your probation fees? Or did you do your prison time? Is that all finished? Then in certain circumstances, you can get those voting rights back.
So listen, audience, that, when you get these things expunged, as Attorney Neal Pinkston has stated, it goes off your record. So you can definitely answer no on the application to vote again once it's expunged, right? Not before, but after it's expunged.
That or your rights have been restored.
Or your rights.
Then you can seek to get voter registration again.
So I'm asking the question. There's a box that you check on the voter application that says, have you ever been convicted? So when you get your rights Restored, do they remove the eviction from your records?
They do. Well, your rights are restored, and the court is telling you that you have the right to vote again.
Okay.
And they will usually, the process that it works is, say an individual paroled out of prison, say 10, 15, whatever the time limit is, and their conviction is eligible for restoration of rights. You file a petition either with the circuit court, chancery court, or criminal court. It needs to be a court of record.
Okay.
And when you file that, notice is sent to the DA's office and the U.S. Attorney's office here locally, and they have a chance to respond, to object, say, no, the information here is incorrect or whatever. But if they don't object, which normally when I was the DA, we rarely objected, because the people who filed those, they had everything lined up. They knew exactly what they were going for. And then an order comes down that restores that individual's rights. And so if they were to go to get a voter card or registration and they were getting a disagreement about them, take that order with you. Show them that order that your rights have been restored.
I like that, because, if they check no, they can get a voter's card. But they come back, oh, you were convicted. You lied.
Which could be a felony, which could be another felony.
So would you recommend them to say, yes, I've been convicted, or I've got my rights restored since then, and don't check off anything?
I would recommend, when they go for the voter's registration card, if their rights have been restored, to take that order from the court showing that they've been restored, and explain that to the election commission when you sign up for the card, and say, I have this, I'm going to put no here. Do you agree with that?
Right.
Because of this order that shows that.
Okay.
And my experience with the election commission, they go out of their way to be helpful. So I think, but unfortunately in this day and time, saying one thing is one thing, but sometimes you have to prove yourself.
Right.
And so that court order speaks higher than you can at certain times.
So get your rights restored first, because that's been a big question. I can't never vote again. I'm a convicted felon. I got to check that box off. So Mr. Pinkston is saying, get your rights restored first and take that court order with you down to the election commission when you fill out that application. You need to probably go in person, I would say, and have someone from the election commission to go over your application with you and with the court record, where they can make a copy of that and then ask them, is it okay if I just say no?
Yeah, I would ask, I would take a certified copy, which means that it's certified from the court, that it's not illegitimate, it's not a forgery.
Right.
And I would go, as you said, I would go in person. I wouldn't do it online.
Right.
And just ask for assistance in regard to that one question.
Yes. Okay, you all heard it straight from our former district attorney, to get your rights restored first, especially if you're seeking to get a voter's card, because that's something that's really going to be important as we move on, is everybody getting their rights to vote. If they, in the community that we serve, there's a high incidence of people that have been convicted, and getting their life back is something that's a struggle when you don't have a lot of money, or you don't really have a good job or a job at all, and you're still living with your mama. You don't have your own place. All these things become a trickle-down effect, and you owe child support.
Yes. And then, unfortunately, it can be overwhelming, and sometimes people just give up,
Yeah.
and it compounds from there. But there are lawyers out there, myself, others, that the DA's office, the clerk's office, they're there to assist in that regard.
Yes. And I like the fact that, and I'm sure that the district attorney is still doing this. When you go into the district attorney's office, there should be someone there to help and assist you with these kinds of matters.
Yes.
And I love the fact that there's some waivers
Yes.
for people who don't have the money, that you could ask the judge, right, to waive some of those fees for you to help you get your rights restored.
And if you're familiar with the courts building there at 600 Market Street, when you go for expungements, not the restoration rights, but the expungements is in room 109.
Room 109.
Or 109, excuse me. Room 109 is where expungements you can seek, and you can go in, say you haven't been in trouble you haven't been convicted of anything or arrested for anything in 5 or 10 years, and you're unaware of the status of what your prior record looks like. You can go down there and ask them, show ID, who you are, and they can tell you what cases are eligible for expungement.
Okay.
And again, if they've been dismissed, it's free of charge. There's no charge.
Now that's sweet. I like that. So Mr. Neal Pinkston is saying that if your case is dismissed and you got these cases on your record, all you've got to do is take the initiative and go to room 109 and show your identification and ask the clerks or whomever's there to assist you in looking up your cases and asking them what cases are eligible for expungement. And if that case was dismissed, then that's free of charge. So, and there's other cases you may have that's not free of charge, but it's eligible for expungement.
Yes.
And you need to make the initiative to get any and everything that's eligible for expungement off your record. So now, if say it's not eligible, is that something that's going to be looming on their record forever, or is there another step you can do?
Unfortunately, generally, yes. If certain criminal convictions aren't eligible for expungement of restoration of rights, unfortunately, that's just something that stays with you for the rest of your life.
So we've listed some of those things that if you get an entanglement with the law with, that are never eligible for expungement. So you all think about what you're doing before you do it, because one of those is murder. One of them is rape or any type of sex-related offense, especially involving children. And then what else? Armed robbery?
Armed robbery would be one. And then maybe some other offenses involving public officials, like extortion or, things where a public official violates the law. Those generally are
while they're in office.
While they're in the office. Those are generally ineligible for expungement and or restoration of rights at this time. Mm-hmm. But as I said, each year it seems the legislature expands those class of offenses that can be expunged.
Wow.
So you just have to keep checking.
Wow, that is awesome. For you all who are listening, and this is being recorded, so it's going to be playing for the rest of the duration. You can always go to our website at WPTP1001fm.com. And if you're on Facebook and you're listening, it's WPTP 100.1 FM radio. We've got our YouTube channel, WPTP 100.1 radio, and we're also on Twitter and Instagram. Twitter at WPTP Radio Chat, and Instagram at WPTP Radio Chattanooga, spelled all the way out. You all have got to keep this, look at it, because I know there's thousands and thousands of people that are out there that just don't know which way to go. And they need to know what are the things that they need to do to get their rights back, because that's what people want. And if you've been to prison, it's not doom and gloom forever. You have to make the initiative to reach out to the district attorney's office to get the paperwork so that you can get your expungement started and your restoration of rights started. But you can't do it just by sitting there. You have to do something. And if you get confused and really don't know and don't know which way to start, you can always reach out to Attorney Neal Pinkston, because that's what he does. He handles private. He's got a private law firm, and he handles criminal defense, both state and federal, civil rights, and civil litigation. That's what he does. And so you can call him at area code 423-654-8326. And you can definitely reach out to him on his email at nealpinkstonlaw@gmail.com. And he also has a website, www.nealpinkstonlaw.com. And he's located on East Main Street at 1216 East Main Street, Suite 206. Lovely office. And just, I'm telling you, if I wanted to trust and believe in an attorney that could help me, if I got in trouble, this would be the man that I would reach out to.
I really appreciate that. That's very kind.
Yes. And I'm not saying it because he's my friend and I love him. I'm saying it because he has the capability, he has the experience, the background, the connections, all of that stuff that makes him worthy of people seeking you for advice and for them to seek you for legal help.
Yeah, I've seen, the whole criminal justice system for 20 plus years now, in all kinds of cases. So it's experience matters in certain situations.
It does. And I always tell people, my patients, they come in sometime, y'all know I'm a dentist, and they're scared to death. And I always tell them, it's going to be okay. Maybe 35 years ago when I first started, I might not say that, but you're going to be fine. The more experience a person has, the easier it is to take care of a person. Because
and there's
experience teaches you things.
Not only knowing how to defend a particular case, but there's certain things you can help people with, like to prepare them for court that goes a long way, like how to dress appropriately, being on time, how to respond to questions, things like that. If you've never been, it can be a very intimidating or frightening situation. So experience matters to help people understand where they're headed, and you can show to the judge that you have your, despite being accused of something, you have your stuff in order. And maybe it was just a majority of the people that do end up in the criminal justice system, it's either through mistakes or some type of substance abuse or mental health issue.
Right.
Most of the people that end up in the criminal justice system are violent. Now, there's that, as you well know, there's a certain percentage that are violent, and no matter what you can do or say, people are still going to be violent.
It's in their DNA.
but there's a large majority who've either made mistakes or have life issues that have caused caused their trouble. That and there's drug court that exists now. Well, it has existed since Judge Stern, and then Judge Greenholz, and now Judge Dunn. Judge Patterson has mental health court. And Judge McVeigh in Sessions Court has, and Judge Statham have mental health courts. And so if you're eligible for certain offenses and you show a need through either substance abuse, past or present, or mental health issues, you can be directed to those courts, which is kind of a singular focus on helping you
break the habit and come over your obstacles. And
that's challenges. Right. That's right. And I know Judge Patterson's talked about establishing a veterans court, because our veterans sometimes they have unique mental health issues or substance abuse issues that nobody else has, based upon their time in service or overseas. So I think we're progressing in that regard, and so there are a lot of things there that people can capitalize on if they're eligible, but they just got to know what to ask for as well.
So are you saying that if a person has mental issues or drug addiction, addicts, or whatever you want to call it, and they're in the military and they may be confronting some drug and mental issues, that these courts here will be more lenient in that the help that they will give these individuals to overcome these obstacles and challenges will put them in a better life setting, and they'll be more lenient maybe on the charge. Is that what you're saying?
It's like the expungement process there. If you're in Sessions Court or criminal court, you can apply to be in the mental health court, or you can apply to be in drug court, and those applications are reviewed by the public defender's office, the district attorney, the judges, and if eligible, you are essentially put on the drug court docket or the mental health court docket. And so when you come to court, you're going specifically for the mental health court docket. You're not there with everybody else who's been accused of a crime. And the point is to help that individual overcome those obstacles that cause them to be in trouble in the first place.
Wow. Because I know a lot of folks like that. If they knew that, they could opt to go to mental court help, to get help, that they would get some, not preferential treatment, but they will have some better care.
It's kind of an individualized treatment.
Right.
Now, it is not everybody's eligible, like the expungement. And it's not easy once you get into mental health court or drug court, but it shouldn't be easy. You know, it's kind of a tough love, perhaps, is the way to describe it.
Boot camp.
Something like that. But there's a lot of services that are available for people who are eligible in those situations that can help weed those out of the criminal justice system that shouldn't be there because, for instance, mental health issues.
Right. Just like going to jail. You know, we all know some people that have been in prison, maybe just even here, you know, at Silverdale, and they shouldn't be mixed in with the regular folks because they got some real situations. They've been diagnosed with schizophrenia, bipolarism, and they need their medicine. And they are, sorry, y'all. And they are they are actually mixed in with the regular folks.
Sure.
And if they don't tell somebody, then their treatment is going to be the same as everybody else.
Right.
So it's
or no treatment.
Or no treatment.
Which is, you know, and then our veterans have a lot of PTSD that, you know, that they deal with through their experiences in war or just service overseas. And so I think the judicial system's trying to, it's obviously progressing to address those needs and understand that just because you're accused of a crime, that doesn't mean that you're a bad person.
Right.
Or that doesn't mean that there's other things that could have contributed for you that caused this thing to happen. And how can we go about addressing what is that issue, define that issue, and then what help can we get for you in those situations?
Right. So, you know, I'm just tickled to death because, you know, I get approached a lot. We've got a diversion program. I want to talk about that because that's really important for our system, our judicial system, to say, hey, you know, these folks aren't that bad, but they bad enough to where there needs to be some repercussions behind what they did. So I tell you what you do, you're going to do some community service or whatever, and you can avoid going to prison. So that pretrial diversion.
Well, there's two types of diversions. There's a pretrial diversion and a guilty plea diversion. And again, like the expungement and the restoration of rights, it's generally only certain offenses are eligible. Those that we talked about, like if you're charged with murder, you're not able to get a diversion.
Right.
You know, common sense things like that. Pretrial diversion is where you and your attorney come to an agreement with the prosecutor, and the case is suspended for up to essentially 24 months.
Okay.
And there's some guidelines set out in the pretrial diversion order, like don't violate the law, don't get arrested, pay your fines and pay your fees. And at the end of that 2 years, if you've complied with everything, that case goes away.
Wow, like an expungement automatically.
But the key difference is on the pretrial diversion, you don't actually enter a guilty plea. But then the guilty plea diversion is where you enter a plea of guilt to certain offenses, and your case is diverted. Essentially, it's let's say we set it aside over here. And for whatever period of time, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, if you comply with all those requirements, pay your court costs, probation fees, and you'll have to probably be on probation for a period of time, do some community service, things of that nature, public work days. And if the end of that time period, you've complied with all those under a guilty plea diversion, you come back to the court that you entered the plea in front of, and you get your case dismissed, and then you go down and get it expunged.
Wow. So help me understand. We've got individuals that are doing community service with Autumn Park Development Corporation, and they've got so many community hours they have to do, and they take it back to their PO office or whatever. So are you saying that at the end of the time, when they finish their community service, and we turn it in to their PO office, which goes before the judge or whomever, that their case is dismissed.
If it was on a guilty plea diversion and they comply at the end of that time, the judge says, you come back here, whether it's a year or 2 year, whatever that time period is, you go back in front of that judge and say, Judge, I've complied with all these things. And then your case can be under the agreement, a guilty plea diversion. If you're successful, it will be dismissed and expunged.
Wow.
But you bring up an interesting point about public work days or community service that's often overlooked. Don't wait to the last. Like if you've got 20 public work days and you've got 90 days to do it, don't wait to the last 20 days to do it, because something's going to come up
and you can't do it.
And then that could be a reason to remove your potential diversion or to revoke your suspended sentence to make you go do time. And the other thing with the community service is document it. Don't come in and say, I did mine, 5 days or whatever. Have it documented. And I know that most everybody that, like Alton Park Development Corp, that if you have people with community service, you will gladly
time that they clock in, time that they clock out,
and you'll sign
and what they've done during that time that they were there.
That's right.
And we sometimes take pictures from the back, so that they were here.
Sure.
In case there's ever a question. Yes, they were here. We got cameras, of course, so you see them pulling up,
That's right.
that kind of stuff.
But it's important to document all that stuff, and it's easy to wait. It's easy to procrastinate, but it's not going to be, I've seen people that they come back and they get their public work days doubled or even tripled at times. And so then you're looking at 20 days. If you think 20 days is bad, just think if it's 60 days, and you can only do that 5 days a week. And so think of how many weeks that is.
Yeah, we've had some folk that, they can't come this day. They can't come that day. They got every excuse to work. I said, no, this is your life. These are the days. You make it where you can be here these days.
That's right.
So because we can't explain anything to the judge if you don't get it done. Maybe this program is not cut out, but we try our best to make sure that these people are successful. That's why we open up our doors for community service.
And I would say, I know it can be a time commitment with the public work days, but on the front end, the time spent to complete those is better than the time on the back end. If you have to go to jail, or if you have to do twice or 3 times the amount, the time spent doing it correctly far outweighs the consequences.
Y'all hear that? Now, if they've let you off the hook on a pretrial diversion, or you're doing a what is it called, a
guilty plea diversion.
If you got community hours and you have a place to go, it is important that you all do those hours, those days, that time, so that you don't have to go to jail. That's the whole purpose, to keep you out of prison and allow you to work, spend time with your family, children, those kinds of things. That's the whole point.
Another good point, I think, too, is, say, for instance, an individual entered a plea of guilt to a drug offense, and they're required to go on probation and do drug screens. Be honest with it. If you enter the plea, when you enter the plea with the judge and your lawyer, be honest and say, your lawyer can speak for you, that I'll fail the first drug screen. Just go ahead and be honest about it. And then generally the judges here locally are very good about it. They will waive the first drug screen, which gives you time to get it out of your system, quit doing it, and then show back up. And when you do the subsequent drug screens, they're clear. And so your probation won't be violated. But it's always kind of like I can only pay $50 a month. It's always best to be upfront and honest.
So you don't look like you lied. And,
Correct.
You're not going to comply and that kind of thing. Just be truthful. Truth is always better.
And the judges, the judiciary, I'm not speaking for them, but I've seen it enough. They truly appreciate the people, the honesty up front, and to say, look, I'm not going to pass this drug screen, or I can't pay $100 a month. They appreciate that honesty.
Like your parents, when they tell you, now I'm going to ask you one time, did you do X? The parents already know, by the way. They already know. Just go ahead and tell the truth.
So does your mother, and so does your grandmother.
Yeah, they know.
The mothers are the worst.
We are the worst. Yeah. We can look at your eyes and say, yeah, you did it.
Exactly.
Exactly. So I was going to ask you another question, and it escaped my mind. But tell us, in your own words, in your own way, as an experienced attorney, an experienced DA, what are some advice you can give to these young folk that are out here? Some have good home lives, some have terrible home lives. Give them some good old fashioned wisdom
Okay.
on what they need to be doing. I know staying in school, blah blah blah. That's it. That's regular.
Everybody knows that. A couple things I would say,
Mm-hmm.
especially for the juveniles,
Mm-hmm.
that there's this common misconception if you're taken to juvenile court that nothing will happen to you, and
Ooh.
that is not true. And there are certain select situations where juveniles charged with certain offenses can have those transferred to adult court, and you can go to adult prison, you can go to adult jail. And so it's a common misconception
It is.
for juveniles to think that nothing will happen to them. The other thing I would say that we've cautioned our children about, our children's friends about, if you're, say you have a license, you have a vehicle, and you're driving and you pick up people,
Mm.
you need to ask them on the front end or tell them on the front end, I don't want no firearms. I don't want no illegal firearms in my vehicle. I don't want no illegal substances. Because, take it for instance, say you buy your child a vehicle and it's in your name, the parent's name.
Oh yeah.
And then your son or daughter picks up somebody who has a gun or they have drugs. That vehicle the parent's vehicle can be seized by law enforcement in certain situations. And so they're losing their vehicle based on the conduct of someone else.
Yes.
And most of the times, if one person's in the car and there's a gun and there's three other people, everybody's getting charged. And so you have to, I know it's hard. We've all been there, but young people have to kind of guard themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, you think they're a friend, if they're going to put you in a position to where you're in trouble, they may not be the friend that you think that they are.
Yes.
And I think, some just basic stuff like, like my father used to say, and other people, my grandmother, nothing good happens after 1 a.m. in the morning.
Nothing happened good after about 11 for me.
That's right. That's exactly.
Everything's closed now. Everything shuts down at 8 o'clock in Chattanooga. Y'all about to know that.
There's some age-old wisdom in nothing good happens after dark. There really is. And so basic things like juveniles especially, you can get in trouble and it can stay with you forever. And if you commit certain offenses as a juvenile, you can go to prison.
So don't let grown folk, because we're gonna tell some truth today. These folks that are in gangs and that kind of stuff, don't let grown gang members,
Don't
trick you into saying, you can go do this and that because you're a juvenile. Ain't nothing gonna happen.
And
to
don't
you.
hold firearms for anybody.
Don't hold firearms. You don't know nothing about where these guns come from or if they've been used in a murder. So my thing is, if it's not your gun, it wasn't registered, you don't know where it comes from, it's probably a hot gun. So you probably want to not mess with that.
Well, and the in that regard, as far as ballistics go, the Chattanooga Police Department recently got a federal award. They have a new system to where they could probably tell you within 24 to 48 hours of a shooting if, say, shell casings are recovered. If they've been used they can link it to other shootings if it's happened. And so they're going to find out really quick. And
wow,
they're going to find out really quick. And it's not easy it's either your gun and it's registered or it's not. It's pretty straightforward.
So crazy. I want to go back to this drug thing because I know we're about running out of time.
Sure.
But I want to go back to this drug thing. You were talking about, telling the truth and letting them know I'm going to fail the first drug. So typically, first of all, I got two questions, twofold. What forms of testing do they use? I know they use hair, skin, and blood and all this kind of stuff, scraping it inside your mouth.
Usually it's a urine test. They take
usually you for urine test.
Urine test, yes.
So people take other folks' urine.
Don't do that.
Okay.
They'll get busted.
Don't get busted, but they do it.
They do.
So how are they preventing people from using other people's urine for P tests when they go in and take the P test?
Usually,
nurse goes in with you now.
Whether the individual's a male or female will accompany them to make sure that the test is completed accurately. So don't try to. As you know, that these people do this every day, so they know who's being truthful and they know who's not being truthful. So don't just tell them up front, I'm going to fail. Or if you seriously need substance abuse help when you go to probation, tell them
in.
Tell them
so they know you're going to fail.
Tell them I'm not in a position right now where I'm going to be successful. Please help me.
Yeah.
And that goes a long way, as opposed to uh, failing to show up for a probation meeting or failing up to show a drug screen. All that gets you
Is
in
it
further
recorded
trouble.
fail if you don't show up for your drug
Yes.
test? It's automatic fail.
Essentially, yes. And failure to comply with the court order. You're essentially telling the judge, I'm not going to do what you told me to do.
Wow. So how long? Now we're gonna talk because I'm giving y'all some information because you need to know how long does marijuana stay in your system from the day you smoke it? How long does alcohol? I know it depends on your weight and size and all that stuff. Alcohol, but cocaine, any type of amphetamine. How long is it in the person's urine? Since you say urine, before it's out of their system. Because if I
It,
take a pill today or snort some cocaine today, how long is it going to take it to clear my system?
and again, like you said, it's dependent on the person and depending on what they take. Uh, Cocaine and usually flushes out of the system much quicker than marijuana does.
Mm-hmm.
But it also depends on the person's diet, whether they drink a lot of water,
Weight.
all that kind of stuff. And so I would say it's safe to say between, I would say easily 30 to 45 days, something's going to be in your system. Just use that as a just general rule of thumb. So you can be honest with the probation. Say, look, I did such and such on this date. I'm not going to be successful. You need to know that up front. And they're not going to say that's a, they'll tell the judge, yeah, they told me they were honest. And, you have no idea in those situations how far honesty goes with those situations.
Just be honest in the court system because guess what? When you lie, they know you're lying anyway. The judge can look in your eye like your mama look in your eye. I mean, these judges are so smart. They can look into your eyes and know when you're lying. Your lies don't make sense sometimes. They just don't make sense.
Correct.
You
And
know?
don't, this may sound old fashioned, whatever, but don't come to court with a, uh, drug paraphernalia on your shirt or, bad people, things like that, because that's, unfortunately sets the wrong impression.
Yeah, I was in the court one day, and young lady she was in trouble. I didn't know the young lady, but she had a shirt that had "sexy melt" on her shirt,
Yeah.
and the judge from the bench said "sexy melt." Ah,
Mhm.
oh, okay, you got
Yeah.
sexy. Just called her out. No
Yeah.
particular reason. And then everybody started laughing. In the courtroom, he said, "Well, I might want to give me one of those shirts, just kind of, to break the ice or whatever." But yes, stuff that you wear in the courtroom also says a little bit about your character.
Don't wear shorts.
Don't wear
Do not
shorts.
wear shorts. They won't let you in the courtroom. And then if they don't let you in the courtroom, then that shows that you're a failure to appear, which could be an additional charge. So it's
Just go looking decent, y'all. Just be decent. If it looks like if you're questioning whether or not this is going to be acceptable attire, don't wear it. Don't wear it. Just act like you're going to church. Well, I don't know about that because sometimes folks go to church and not dressed appropriately. But just say you about to meet God today.
There you go.
And you want to look nice for God. You're trying to get into heaven. So let's dress neat like that and try to represent ourselves well.
Yes. Yes, very much so.
That's awesome. So Attorney Pinkston, it has been a pleasure to have you here today to enlighten our audience here in Chattanooga. And like I said, it's going to be showing over and over. So if you missed the show or if you got in on the last part of it, it'll go right back on the air. As soon as we're done, it's going to be on there for you to review and look at it as many times as you want. Is it any other words of wisdom you want to leave with the audience today as we depart today?
We're living in what some call crazy times, but that's probably every generation said that. But just try to be, nice to one another and behave as much as possible. Just simple, treat somebody how you want to be treated and understand no matter where you come from, we all have stories that we may not know about each other or facing difficult life situations that not everybody knows about. And so we're all human. We all fall short of the glory and just try to be good to each other. And I'll tell the audience too, if they call in, Dr. Woods, you've got my cell phone number.
Yes.
You can be free to give that out as well.
Okay, so we have Mr. Pinkston's cell phone number. There's some people out there I know that's dying out there, don't know which way to turn. You need some help, and you don't know what to do. It's nothing wrong with calling up Attorney Pinkston and getting some advice on which way to go, and he can help you in that regard. And The parents, I know you're raising your kids in a generation where almost everything goes, and it can be hard and a lot of stress on you as parents to raise your kids. I always, in my rule of thumb, has been, to control my children's friends as long as they're minors. During that age group, I know you can't control them when they're at school, but you can set some boundaries for your children in regard to the children.
And
you want to say something
one
about
last
that?
thing I'd like to add, I should have talked about earlier, with juveniles and adults alike,
Yes.
with all this social media that exists,
Oh God.
it
Yes.
it stays with you forever.
Oh yeah,
It
because you can
stay
expunge stuff, but that stuff that's on website and
it,
social media is
it
there forever.
stays with you forever, and somebody could take a screenshot of it and say you had a bad day and said something bad 5 years ago, and you've turned everything around. They could still bring that out to show that you said something bad. It stays with you forever.
What about cell phones? People texting. Can that be used in court against the
Absolutely,
person?
absolutely, it can.
So no privacy thing. That's my private. You don't have a right
Well,
to, what when does it become private and you can't use it?
Law enforcement have to get a search warrant for your phone records. But if they show the probable cause, the judge will order and allow the phone records to be turned over. That includes text messages, call history,
Ooh.
photographs,
Ooh.
videos,
Ooh.
and depending on how technical you can get, you can pinpoint individuals' location based upon their cell phone at a certain
Wow.
time of
So
day.
you all leave these cell phones, quit texting all this stuff. When you're mad at somebody, remember this stuff can be used against you in the court of law. And there's no such thing as they didn't have a right to record. They didn't have a right. If you're talking to that person, they got a right to record it, and it can be retrieved.
And there's also coming one last thing, that what they call revenge porn, essentially, is if a relationship goes south and then that person gets mad at the other one and then posts photographs of the one they're not getting along with, that can ruin that person's life for how long?
Stop taking these pictures, inappropriate pictures, because like he said, they get mad at you. You got boyfriends, girlfriends taking pictures of each other in compromised positions and all this kind of stuff. I'm just keeping it real. That stuff is going to be there forever. You can't erase stuff off your phone. You can erase stuff off your phone, but it's still there. They can get the records and retrieve any of that stuff. Technology is so sophisticated today. And now with artificial intelligence, there's just, ain't no telling what we can do.
And like me, I'm sure you're glad they didn't have all this technology back when we
were
teenagers.
Yeah, we would have had some trouble, Nick. We would have some trouble. So y'all ain't got it like we had it. Now everything is wide open with all this technology. So you all are at a disadvantage, but you're at an advantage in a lot of ways. So use the technology to enhance what you're doing, to better who you are as a person, and try to use technology for your advantage. That's what it's for. It's for helping you. And I like the thing when they say snail mail versus email. Those kinds of things are awesome. It's valuable to be able to get a message to someone and send it and scan it and all this stuff and get it to them in seconds versus a week or 3 or 4 days. And money, depositing your checks. Now you can take a picture of your check and it goes right into your bank account that moment. Like a twinkling of an eye, it's in your bank. So technology is amazing. But don't abuse technology and use it inappropriately, because it can end up being your worst enemy, your nightmare.
That's true. That's very true.
So,
and I appreciate you inviting me, and I come back anytime. You need help,
you're going to be here, because we got some folk we need you to talk to. We've got some folks that have found themselves in trouble, and they need you to help guide them and tell them what to do. But you told them today, if you all just watch the show, he's told you exactly what you need to do. He's told you what's eligible for expungement, what's not eligible. How do you restore your rights? How do you get your citizenship back? All of those things was here today on what's happening in your neck of the woods. Just review the tape, and then you got his information about how to reach him. If you need a cell phone number, you can call me, and I'll get you that information if you need his professional help. And there's all kinds of people in positions that need your professional help, Mr. Pinkston. And we're gonna send all the folks that we know your way, because not because I love you like I do love you, but it's because you're the best.
Well, I appreciate that very
You're
much.
the best.
I appreciate that very much.
Yes, thank you. And so you all know today is Saturday. As I end my show today, I always tell you, go out, find your church to go to. Tomorrow is Sunday. And if you can't go to church, with the way technology is, you can go to church right from your bedroom, your living room, your kitchen, on this virtual church stuff. And if you need a church home, you can always come and visit me with me at my church, where Pastor Paul Warfield is the pastor, at Greater Emmanuel Apostolic Church, located at 400 Tunnel Boulevard, where the Holy Ghost always get loose in there every Sunday. And so until next Saturday, I will see you all, and be blessed. Be blessed, and know that nothing in life is too difficult that you cannot overcome, because give it all over to Christ, and he'll surely make a way out of no way for you. And so until next Saturday, I will see you guys. Have a blessed week. All right, Chattanooga, we're back again. This is our special edition of What's Happening in Your Neck of the Wood, Part 2. And we are so excited because our artist, our hometown boy, Jimmy Allgood, is going to be joining us. He showed out last night at Nightfall. If y'all missed the show last night, it was so crowded. I'm telling you, it was so many people down there, and he performed. I'm telling you, he really performed. And I wanted to bring him back on today so he can tell you all about that experience. I mean, it was amazing. The All Good band showed out. My son, Marsha Jeffries, was in the house on the bass. He was tearing it up. And we got several other band members that was there. I'm gonna let Jimmy introduce all of them to you. And his backdrop singers were outstanding. When I tell you, he put on a show that was nothing less than professional, nothing less than Hollywood style level. It was amazing. And I think the crowd really enjoyed it. They were dancing, singing, trying to get up on the stage and grab him and all this kind of stuff. It was exciting. It was really good. And I just wanted to let you all know that last night was a success. And also, we had another band, Dexter Bell, and his band came on before them. And you know, Dexter never fails. He never disappoints. So we want to give a shout out to him. And there was some other artists that was doing their coming out last night. But Jimmy, oh Jimmy, when are you coming back, Jimmy? Oh, when are you coming back? Where are you, Jimmy? Live here on WPTP 100.1 FM, and you showed out, baby.
Oh my God. Thank you once again for having me on your show, Dr. Woods. It was amazing. That's all I can say. It was amazing.
I had to catch
Chattanooga
myself.
came.
Wait a minute. I said, wait a minute. This is Jimmy. Okay, he's one of our artists. I said, oh, let me get back off the stage. I had to get back down. I was about to jump on that too and grab your ankle.
Oh my God. Chattanooga came out. Yo, they came out and showed out. They was phenomenal. Like, I mean, the crowd was moving along with me. They was singing all the songs that they knew that I was singing, even my original music. I mean, it was a blast. Like, it's unbelievable, because like it's been a long time since I hit a stage like that and sung that many songs. So just to be in the presence of all my people that love me, that came out to support me, the people that I met and known for years and years ago was there. And I was like, wow, this is crazy.
They always say success starts at home and spreads abroad. So when you come back to your hometown and you do a show like that, a whole 90-minute show, and you perform the way that you did, and you had that much love in the audience rooting you on and trying to get up on the stage. And one part of it, you did have two young ladies come on stage and they danced and showed out. He said, I need two beautiful women.
Oh my goodness.
Man, them two women got on the stage, and I mean, they was to show themselves. It was just fun.
Yes.
And I love the way you gave it to us last night. Your band, who are some of your band members in the All Good band?
Oh my goodness. We got JJ on the bass. We got Moshe on the lead, and we got Tom on the keyboard, and we got Jimmy on the drums. And they are amazing. We got Monica King as the backup singer, and we had Reese the Truth as a special guest performing with me, and he did some background up with me too also. So it was a big collaboration there that night.
It was. I'm telling you, and I think the folks that if they didn't know you when they came down there last night, they'll never forget you. And you got some more fans. And so I just want to give Chattanooga a shout out, the city of Chattanooga, for putting on Nightfall.
Thank you.
And for making you a headliner for last night. And, it's those kinds of things that make Chattanooga a great place to come and a great place to visit. And the entertainment world is amazing here in Chattanooga. Thanks to Carla. Carla put this together, and she
wonderful
this thing so well.
Thank you, Carla.
Shout out to her. We had our tent out there. WPTP tent was out there, but I left that tent, baby. I got down on the front.
Yes, you did. I seen you.
And so it was just a good night. Everybody enjoyed it. I was walking back to my car and everybody was making comments like that Jimmy all good. He's good, man. And like where did he come from, where he's been? And everybody was just talking you up, around,
Right.
downtown last night. So you left an impression, man. You left an
You
impression.
know what? And that was my whole idea. So that I said I'm gonna make sure that when we leave that stage, they gonna realize who Jimmy Allgood is in this city. They gonna always think about that show that we put on at Nightfall. That was the best show at Nightfall they said they have ever went to be that crowded.
It was so crowded. They was all back to Market Street, all the way over across MLK. It was so many people you couldn't see the back. That's how many people it was. You couldn't see the back.
Yeah, they came out in numbers. They came out in numbers. I mean, I had people. I mean, Facebook is just loaded full of stuff right now. Like everywhere I turn a page, it's me singing. It's funny because I had people. They was going live, putting the phone down, and they were dancing in front of the camera, singing the songs. Oh my God, it was amazing.
You on everybody live, Jimmy. You on everybody live. And I got so excited when you did Sarah Smile. I thought I had record and didn't hit record, and I didn't even get it, man. You showed out on Sarah Smile, man.
You know what? It's on Facebook. I just watched it. It's on there. I just watched it.
Man, your voice is man. You are truly anointed. That voice is so anointed. And when you did Switch, There'll Never Be, I said, okay, here you go. And you hit that soprano. I mean, first soprano note that he hit. I said, there you go. There you go. He
that's it.
Field, man.
That opened it up there. I prayed. Yes, we had a prayer, up in the dressing room before we went on stage, like we should always do every time, and thank God for what He done for us and why we're here today. And I know I've been coming down with a little cold. I've been practicing, going hard, and I woke up. I said, God, I said, just give me this day to do what I need to do because this is my day. And I need to show the people in Chattanooga what I can do. They never really heard me sing like that. Maybe on tracks in the studio. God made a way to see me through this whole show, and I could have kept going on and on. And I was sweating so bad. I tell you, my jacket probably weighed about 20 pounds. It's soaking wet, and my pants were soaking wet, and my underwear, and everything else. I put on a show. I'm proud of myself.
That was professionally done, and I'm telling you, Mayor Tim Kelly gave you a proclamation and gave you your all good day. And I
March
think
26th.
He's proud of what he did because you gave it to Chattanooga. You represented this town. And I think we're just honored to have you as an artist from our city. Something we can brag about. And you really have, you're truly amazing. I met your mom there last night.
Yes.
And she was looking so beautiful, tell her.
Yes, she was.
So
hey, Mom.
proud of her son. She was so proud of her son. And we all are proud of you, Jimmy. And we just want you to keep on going, forward. And August the 5th, I've already got tickets. Tell us about what's happening.
The award show in Atlanta, Georgia, August the 5th.
Tell us about it.
Springfield, red carpet event. I mean, it's the biggest award show in Atlanta right now. We got people coming up from all over the world, international singer songwriter awards. I'm up for 3 awards. So, hey, let's get this thing popping. And I'm performing at the after party, which is at the Wild Wing Cafe in Atlanta, Georgia, too, at the after awards party, after the award show. So it's a lot going on right now. And I will probably be going out of town to St. Louis in August to do a show there. So, the band, I will say, man, I love y'all. Thank y'all, man. We rocked it. Thank you, Reese Truth, for coming out, for showing me so much love, for doing what you did for me, man. Like, man, hey, we brothers for life, bro. And I appreciate WPTP showing their face out there today. Miss Elenora Woods, you did your thing. I seen you out there. And all my fans and followers and family. And Kentucky Rose that came out of town from from Kentucky. The opening act did a great job, and give a shout out to the DJ and everybody, man. I love y'all. Y'all showed out. Y'all represented. Hey, number love.
No, you got that band, the All Good band. Just, oh my God, just showed out last night. I mean, when I tell you they showed out, man, I put them up against any band. They showed out, Man, you got you some folk there. That band was off the chain.
Yes, they
They off
was
the chain.
on point on everything. I felt so comfortable and felt so good, and
oh yeah, it was awesome.
and we worked hard, and we worked very hard, and the guy and the people was saying like, y'all was ringing like y'all ain't really just been together for years. No, we only been together for a couple of weeks to sound that amazing together.
But you all practice over here. This is what I love about the Civic Center here.
Yes,
they have a place to come and practice with a real stage, and they were over here practicing at the Auburn Park Development Corporation Chattanooga Civic Center at Mountainside, and they got that stuff together. And you just got some talented professional people that you're working with, and they can take a song from a tape, listen to it, and mimic it, and make it sound better than what they heard. So, I mean, these are some talented professional musicians, and I have to go off to them. They had to learn 90 minutes of music. They had less than a month to do it.
Yes.
And they did it, and the All Good Band, and you all are all good. And I think you got your people right there.
Yes, they are.
There. You got
they
them.
are all good, baby.
That drummer, Jimmy, the one named Jimmy, got your name. Jimmy, man, he put some, he put
look, ain't it? He bad. He a bad boy.
He just showed out. Next time you got to give him a solo where he just beat the drums and just do a song all by himself.
Yes. He's phenomenal, yo. When it comes to that, the drums, oh my God, like, he just bring that powerful, and that energy in the room was just so good, and they make you do what you do because the energy that they showed us, and man, they were trying to grab me off the stage. My watch almost got ripped off my arm, and
what you tell me? Maybe you pull my ankle like that.
Yeah, I said, don't pull my ankle, don't pull my watch off my hand. And then I had this big, one dude gave me a big old chain. They had a big old dollar sign on it lit up. I said, thank you.
You take that and put it around. That was cool though. That's the kind of love you got.
That was so much love. I enjoyed it.
$100 bill or something on the stage because you did that thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you right.
You did that thing, baby. You did
it. Man, look at that.
Man, you was.
I enjoyed every moment of that. That was amazing.
There go Marshall.
We always coordinated.
Huh?
We always coordinated. It looked so beautiful on stage.
Yes, and I want to thank the board members of Auburn Park Development Corporation. They were there on the front row supporting you and giving you all that love last night.
That's right.
Out because we want to let you know that here at Auburn Park Development Corporation and WPTP Radio 100.1, you got a home, and we were here. We were there last night. And we were all excited and so proud of you last night. And you always got a place you can come, and anytime you want to get on the radio and talk about what's going on, just hit us up, and it's a done deal. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm going out too, and oh my God, like I've been moping around all day. I said, let me look, my voice really wasn't gone. I mean, it's amazing, but last night I was so tired I couldn't open my eyes up. Like, oh my God. Then you
gave it hard last night. I said, wow, he gave it hard. You were sweating. I said, I know you lost about 15, 20 pounds last night.
Yes, I'm talking about them lights, and my arms were sweating, every damn thing on my body.
That's all right. You know what?
The lady grabbed a towel. She wiped my face off. I was thinking they had the fan on. I was so stopped. That's love all day, y'all. Thank y'all so much for that. Y'all show so much love to me, and I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah. So,
we have more to come.
You want the crowd to know anything on your website about your music, how they can download, buy your music. Give them that information now so they can go on there and they can go back and watch these videos too today. And if they miss it, they can replay it.
Well, y'all can find me on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, especially on Facebook. I'm out on all major platforms, and all the videos from tonight's show will be on Facebook. They just run them over and over again to share them. share them and get them on out there. Like I said, I have a couple more things in store coming up. Like a show we might be doing in St. Louis in August. So right now, I think we do have a date for that, but I'm just trying to wait and see what the promoters decide to do for that. And just catch me. Just catch me on Facebook. Anything you want to know, you know what I'm saying, you'll find it there, because we got a lot of stuff coming up in store. And everybody keep asking about karaoke night, and it's just gonna boost it all even more now. We ready. They ready.
Watson with the
Y'all hear that?
in the house.
We bringing it back.
8 to 12, y'all don't want to miss it. We're going to get down and crazy and silly next Friday.
We bringing it back. And we're going to have special guest performance and stuff like that also. And we're going to rock the house there too. We got a nice cook. We're going to have a nice person doing it. Oh, we're going to rock it. We coming back, y'all. Y'all ready? They've been asking.
Let me tell y'all, if y'all going to give a $10 donation for the community.
Yes.
And we're going to be serving drinks for y'all to come out, because, some people got to get a little drink on before they get up there and take the mic and sing.
Right.
We got Icy Hot in the house that's going to be mixing the drinks. He got some bad drinks back there. I got
Lord. Yes, he do.
Bad drinks. And so you don't want to miss Friday. Fred Watson with the karaoke going to be in the house. He's the karaoke man. Spread this out, share
That's
this.
right.
Make sure everybody know $10 cover charge, and then your drinks also you can pay as you drink. But we are raising money. We're raising money.
Yes.
For
raising money. That's the key.
For Autumn Park Development Corporation to continue to do the great things in the community that we're doing. It also helped our radio ministry here with WPTP to keep us on the air and to take care of these fees with FCC and all of that. Right. Our engineers that are involved. Michael is making it possible. He's in Mississippi, but he is our marketing director. And
hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike. Mike's got Jimmy all good on the radio, television, whatever you want to call it, side by side with our virtual way of bringing people on from anywhere in the world. And so he's somewhere resting. And I'm here at the radio station, but y'all got him live in person with a split screen. Mike, thank you for what you've done. And then, of course, we got Robin in the house that's coordinating everything with Mississippi. He's a phenomenal engineer on the boards. We thank him for what he's doing today. And we just have an awesome team. Now, I always tell everybody, we might be small, but we mighty, baby, and we can reach all over the world through our radio ministry. You know how to get us, WPTP1001FM.com. You can hear us on the radio from the website. And if you're in our local area, in our coverage area, you can just turn on 100.1 FM. And of course, we're on Facebook. We have a YouTube channel. We have Instagram and Twitter. So we're on all social media platforms. So you need to listen to WPTP. We're 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 365 days a year, and we just don't stop. We play jazz, inspiration, gospel, R&B, and we also gonna do a little old school. We're gonna have an old school mix hour. We're working on the programming for that, and every Wednesday and on Saturdays you get this right here, talk radio, where we educate, right, and inform you and engage you into what's happening in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and definitely things like this, with Jimmy Allgood being a homeboy from Chattanooga, just like the rest of them left here and made it big. Jimmy's the same way on the chart, so you all want to support him. And I'm sure that when you all support him as he gets these awards and travel all over the world, he'll always give Chattanooga a shout out because we were there for him. And so I want to thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Jimmy Allgood Band and your backdrop. Background singers, all your engineers, Mike, your DJ, all these folks that made last night possible. You made us proud. You made us proud. All of us proud. And thank you. So what else do you want to say? And then we're gonna close this hour out.
Karaoke. Get ready.
Friday, July the 21st at 701 Hooker Road. If you
Flyers will be going out real soon.
That's the Chattanooga Civic Center at Mountainside. If you don't know where that is, it's in the historic Pineywood Elementary School building. We repurposed that building, and we're doing it big up in here. Thanks to
Big.
all of our people that have sponsored Autumn Park Development Corporation, all of the opportunities that we've been given financially. Keep pouring that money in so we can keep doing what we're doing, because that's what it's all
Yes.
about, helping the community and giving back.
And I want to give a shout out to Alco Entertainment. It was there last night. Tiffany, Alvin, and all the rest of the crew was there to help cheer me on last night. Yeah, they was all there. I was like, wow.
It was so loud, man. I was trying to get to the attention, and I couldn't get it because it was so loud. Everybody was just loud. It was just, Jimmy! Everybody was screaming, Jimmy!
Yes, they were screaming and hollering and everything. I loved it. I loved it. I've been watching it all day. So we got a lot of stuff to keep and send off to a couple of other people, you know what I'm saying, for sure. So that's what I wanted.
Yes, Alcor Entertainment. We are partnered together. We're going to be doing a lot of shows. So you all get ready for some big events here at Chattanooga Civic Center at Mountainside with Alcor Entertainment. That's how we do it. You know, we love them. We support them and what they do here at WPTP Radio. And we're going to do some events, bring some stuff here for Chattanooga. That's what they specialize in bringing shows to Chattanooga. So you all look out for them and the stuff that they're doing. Like I said, they brought Dominique Hammonds here, and it was a sellout crowd, and it was amazing. Of course, that was down at the Chattanooga Trade and Convention Center, but we're going to be doing some things here as well. And so shout out to them, those guys, Tiffany, Alvin, all of y'all. You know, just keep on doing what you're doing, man, because that's what make our city great. Again, is what we do, we pour into our city, and what we're giving back. It makes our city great. So without you guys, we would be nothing. But this city has grown, and we're on the map. Chattanooga's on the map, and you know we're doing stuff. We're doing stuff to make people better. That's the main thing. Nobody has a reason to be suffering by themselves alone. We got all this love and all these resources, and we want to give it to you. We want to help you. So anytime you all are in need, reach out to us. We all brothers and sisters in Christ, and we all can lean on each other. And with me, y'all know it's not a color thing. I just want everybody, no matter what color, what ethnic group you're from, we all family. We all family. We got the same blood, and so we want to help everybody. So all of our venues are open to everybody. Just come on out and party with us and have a good time. It's always a good mixed crowd, and so that's what we want to go forward with. And the image that we want to have is that we are multiracial, multicultural, diverse, and in everything that we do, whether it's entertainment, whether it's helping, resources, whatever. And shout out to all of you all for being the same way. We love y'all. And
we love you.
As I end my show, as you all know, today is Saturday, tomorrow is Sunday. You know, go out, find you a church, go out to church, and remember to give God all the praise and the glory for everything he's done for you. And if you can't get to church, you can always watch church virtually from your living room, your bedroom, your kitchen. And I always tell everybody, you're always welcome to my church at Greater Emmanuel Apostolic Church, located at 4 Tunnel Boulevard, where the pastor, Paul Warfield Jr. is our pastor, where the Holy Ghost just get loose up in there. So you're looking for a place to go where we really worship and the Holy Ghost is in the house, come to us, because we're going to turn it out every Sunday. Ain't nothing like a Holy Ghost party. I know we had a party last night with Jimmy, but tomorrow we're going to have a Holy Ghost party.
Holy Ghost party.
The party never ends at a Holy Ghost party. So come on out with us. And if not, we love you. Find another place to go or watch it virtually. But please be sure to give God all the glory and the praises for what he's done in your life. And on that note, we're going to end the show for now till next Saturday. Y'all be good.
All right. See you later. Thank you.
All right. Love you. Mwah.